So welcome to Sorare Wakey Academy, and today we're continuing in the series looking at under 23's team in Europe. So it could be the challenger and it could be the champion side. So we're looking at 11 players, we're looking at more than 11 players, looking at different positions featuring under 23 players. We've already looked at left backs, so today we're going to have a look at the right backs and see who makes my top 10. Now this is my preferred top 10, it's just for me. Doesn't mean it's the best players, doesn't mean they're the best on Sorare, it's just the way I see them and my favourite players that are under 23 that play in the right back position in Europe. Now before we crack on then with the top 10, I'd like to go and hit that like button, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and let's try and get some sort of community message at the end of this video where we might ask a question or something and you interact. Like I might say, who are your top 10 right backs that are under 23 in Europe? And then give us your answers in below, and we can have a little chat about it. And I'll DM you back and stuff, and answer your squads at the bottom. But it'd just be nice to see who you think are the best right backs in Europe at under 23, or your favourites, I should say, not the best, but your favourites. Who are yours compared to mine? And let's get on with this then, with number 10 coming up first. So here we have him then. Number 10 is Pedro Porro from Tottenham Hotspur. He came over from Portugal. He's a Spanish guy, but he came over from Portugal. And he was a decent right back. He was up and down the wings all the time. He was always involved in goals. But I really liked him over there, but he's not yet really kicked off at Tottenham. He's only like 15 to 18 pound. Let's have a look at his last. Well, let's look at his overall scores then, because it will be quite interesting to see how much he's gone down slightly, being at Tottenham. But you can see up here his last 100 then was hit whilst playing for the other side for who was it? Sporting. He was playing for Sporting. So that was his 100. So he hit 200s and then 92 as well in 4 games. He hit 3 big scores. Come to Tottenham, wasn't involved in a few of the games there, and then was getting on the sub. But then he hit 60 in his last game, and then today with an assist as well. So I really like him. He's playing in midfield as well. He's playing right midfield, where he plays quite a lot, as you can see down these lists. But they've got him down as a right back. He's sort of a wing back, isn't he, more than anything? But really good player. Really like him. And as I say, for 18 quid maximum, decent player to pick up. So that's my number 10, Pedro Porro. So we've got to one of the next ones then. This is number 9, and this is Jelly Batelli, as I call him, or Batel, whatever you want to say. But a decent L15 score there, and really hitting form then with a 58 for his last 5. He's only £3.89 as his floor price, and his last 3-day average. His SL5 scores, we'll have a look at these and his overall time then on the platform. And you'll see he's quite capable of hitting 90s, 80s there. Doesn't get a lot of goals, but does get quite a few assists there. He's got 8 assists there. You might say that's not many in 78 games, but it's still decent for a sort of right back. Again, another sort of wing back. He has got some midfielder cards on the platform as well, as you'll see here. Defender and midfielder, 205 midfield cards, as he pushes up quite a bit. But the gun down's a right back, so we're going to stick to him as that as well. His last 2 games, an 81 and a 91. Really good scores. Really like him. Will he stay where he is? Antwerp, they're playing quite well at the moment, Antwerp. But he's my number 9, Jelly Batelli. Now, in at number 8 is Jordan, I'd say Tezzy, but they call him Jordan Taser. His last 5, he's been off form then, 39. He's only played in 40% of them games. There was a time where he was going in and out the squad all the time. It looks like he might be doing the same again. But at 59 for his last 15, we need that score to come down if you're playing him in the caps. So he needs to play a little bit more often and get that nice smooth score, rather than playing one game hitting a 70 and his L15 stays where it is. Looking at his overall scores, let's look at his price first. Sorry, his price is just £5 now. I think I was paying 20, 30, even 40 quid for this guy at one time. So down to £5 now, which I think is really good value. Look at his overall scores. He's in a good team. He's with PSV, decent team. He's hit hundreds before. He's high 90s. 60s and 70s are good. But he's had a few DMPs just recently, as you see there. He's been on the bench. He's an out-and-out right back. I've seen him play at centre-back once or twice as well. Yeah, centre-back down there once or twice. But normally a right back. been on the bench, so off form slightly, so a good time to get him when he's at £5. His price should go up when he starts playing a bit more often. And in at number 7 then is Yuki Sugawara, or again they call him like Sugawara or something, don't they? But he's with AZ. He is a right back, has played in the midfield before. He's even played up front according to that, but I've seen him playing up right wing last season. But at the moment then he's a right back, and quite consistent as well, 50, 56 and a 51, played 100% of the last 5. Looking at his scores, and he's like £20 at the moment, and again I've seen him up at the 30s and 40s, even higher. There was one time when he was hitting hundreds, or high 80s and 90s, and his price was up at like 80 quid. So he's a good player, good right back, full of energy again. You see he's hit 100, then he was hitting like 96s and 80s. This is probably where he was quite high in price. Now a couple of 40s down here. Asia went through a spell where they weren't scoring that many goals, and now that they should be back to normal again now, where they're starting to score. Was it 1-0 tonight? I think they won. Yeah, 1-0 Cardigan. So he's only got a poor score. In fact, he didn't even play tonight. So his last score, he only got 39, but didn't play tonight in that game. And I think it's because he's suspended, if I'm right. Appears Sugawara. Yeah, suspension, disciplinary problem, suspended. So, really good player, really strong, and if he hits form, he's a great player for under 20 quid there, or around the 20 quid mark. So that's Sugawara. So before we get into the top 5 then, we've got our number 6, and this is Louis Patrice. He plays for Leuven, in Belgium that is. His last 5 are 51. His cost for the cap league is 56. He's only £5.20 and £5.35 then maximum that you pay today. Again, it's another one that sort of caught my eye just recently, and I'll have a look at his what's his all-time scores. Sorry, so look at his all-time scores, and yeah, he caught my eye. I'm not sure if it was when he hit this 75 and 67, but then he hit 100, then it was 70, 70, 60. So that's when I started to take notice of him. But then he's had a few bad games again, and again he hasn't played today either. So I don't know what's going on with that. Whether it's just dropped for not playing well. But normally a right back, has played at centre back and right midfield as well. But right back's his best position, I think. It's one he's been getting had 100 playing at centre back there. But he normally gets a good scores playing at right back. And definitely one to watch for the future. Only 21 still, so a lot left on the clock for this guy. That is Louis Patrice at Leuven. And we're into the top 5 now of my favourite right backs from Europe that are under 23. And we're looking at Celtic. We're looking at Aleister Johnston then, who's coming from Nashville, I think it was. He's down as a defender. He must have midfield cards as well. Yeah, a few midfield cards as well. But he's playing at right back for Celtic. Made that position his own. He's had a great start to the season. He's up at £35, although again I think I paid 50. I think for when I had him. I think it was £50 odd. But now at 35, great card to have then. Especially if I've got Celtic stack like I have, but I thought I had too many players and got rid of a couple, so he's one that's gone. Because I've got Cal Starfelt, who, funnily enough, is now injured. So I could have done with Johnston, so I might have to buy him back. But he looks really good, because some great scores. 66 for his last 5 and 58 for his last 15. Real good, really hit the ground running when he came here. SL5 scores you'll see here, unbelievable since he got to Celtic. 70, 90, 70s. He's only hit one bad score in 27 there. There's a couple more there, but you know, his last 5, 6, 7 games, he's been really good. 76, 90, 71. He did get a 26 and a 4-1 win, which was not great. It's hard to do, to be honest. But then, 55 there for an all-round score against Aberdeen in a 4-0 win. Played in the Cup today as well. I think he got another assist in the Cup today against Hearts. So, Aleister Johnston, really good player to look at. £35. Go and scout him now. So, in 4th place then, Milo Augusto. At one time I really liked this lad. I thought he was going to be fantastic. Playing for Lyon over in France. Was getting great scores. Now, at such a young age, looked brilliant. Energy up and down that wing. Good tackler. You can see his last 5 then of 55. He's only played 20% of that in games. Got an injury, you'll see up here then. He's got a hamstring injury. Don't know how long he's going to be out for. It's unknown at the moment. But you know, pick him up whilst he's cheap. He's only £17 at the moment. Again, this guy was going for like £100. Obviously before the prices crashed and when he was playing really well. I'll have a look at his scores here then. You know, he's got it in him. He's got it in his game to hit 80s and that. But just a little bit inconsistent. You'll see he's gone like a 26 down there, 40s, and then an 80, then 70, 55. And now he's not in the team because of the injury, obviously. He played that hour there against Troyes and hasn't been back in since. So he's going to be out for quite a while, I would have thought. If you know any more than that, let me know in the comments below. He's got 6 assists, doesn't score many goals. In fact, he's scored none this season. In fact, none since he's been on the platform. In fact, he scored more own goals than he scored goals. Does have a bit of an error. You can see there he's given away 2 penalties, 2 errors leading to goals, which is probably them penalties there, and an own goal and a red card. So one to watch out for. A little bit young, a little bit naive. So I think as he matures, he's going to be ended up really good. He's only 19 years old. Really one to watch. They're really rating quite high in France. £17 for him. We are into the top 3 right backs now, and coming in playing in Challenger then is Milan van Meek, who plays for Heerenveen over in the Eredivisie in Holland or Netherlands. Good score there of 56 and a 53 for his last 15. 100% of the games, always plays. I'm not sure if he's still captain or whether he just took that on for a while. He's only £9. £9 for Van Meek. Just watch his scores, he does do really well. Has a few times where he's not at his best. A couple of bad scores, but overall, he's normally consistent, I'm sure. I mean, looking at this, a couple of 30s here. But a 60, a 69, this is when he was really good, when he was hitting the 70s and the 80s. Got off the boil a bit, but you see back here then where he started, 300s there in quick succession, to be honest. Does play at right back, has played right midfield before, and I think I've seen him at centre back once or twice as well. But normally on the right hand side, does really well. A couple of goals there as well just recently. Definitely one to watch. 7 goals in total, 4 assists. A penalty kick one as well, so he does get into the box and a last man clearance off the line twice. Again, he's given away 2 penalties, 2 errors leading to them goals. So if you can sort that out, then I think again another really good player. He plays for the Netherlands as well. Not in the national side just yet, I'm saying, but I think he's going to be quite close to that before too long. He's still only 22 years old. That's Milan van Meek in number 3 position. Number 2 then we come to Rhys James of Chelsea. Me as a Liverpool fan, don't really like Chelsea that much, but I know a good player when I see him, and Rhys James really is a great player. And he's down at £45 at the moment. That's mainly due to another injury. He's got a virus, it says at the moment, but he's just come back from a massive injury and came back and did quite well again. But averaging 49 in his last 5, but he's only played 60% of them games. Does play again at right back, but you'll see him sort of up and down, almost like a midfielder again. And we'll have a look at his overall scores here. We've got that right, scores, yes, overall scores. Now, I haven't seen a player like this hitting the 100 since, like, is it Lionel Messi? I think he's probably one of the other ones that does this, but look at these scores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 100s, 10 100s in total. In what, 82 games he's hit 10 100s. Then he's been injured for a hell of a long time, as you've seen. He's come back and he's just still finding his feet. Bit of a virus, like I say now. Didn't play today. Did play last week, but got that one game in a full 90 minutes against Dortmund in midweek. Maybe they're just keeping him out to get him fresh again. Because he's played like, didn't play in 90, then didn't play 90, didn't play. So, I think, again, Rhys James will be a great right back. He's pushing Trent, probably better than Trent at the moment, if I'm honest. Especially defensively. But got a great shot on him as well. How many goals has he got in total? 9 goals, 17 assists then. He's a guy who loves to get forward. Does really well. At £45, I think it's a bit of a steal, to be honest. I thought he'd be up in the 200s. But maybe due to his injury and him just coming back, that might be why he's so low. And then we get to my number 1 right back for under 23s. Now, I think Rhys James is slightly better than him at the moment, as I said, but this is my favourite players. And Arnold, being a Liverpool fan, Arnold is my number 1 favourite right back at the moment. And He's 24, so he's pushing that under 23 thing. But he's got until July, so not long left as an under 23 for utilities wise then. But he's £112, 113 for his floor price. He's a right back. Again, people want to see him in midfield and playing there, but he is a right back. We'll have a look at his his overall scores. Now this is funny because it's pretty similar to Rhys James. How many hundreds has this man hit? Let's look at this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hundreds, the same as Rhys James. But look at all these 90s as well and 80s. Really, really good score, good high scores. Can get some low scores as well, as everyone can do. And this is a time when he was sort of in and out the side again, with a couple of injuries and niggles here and there. But recently, I don't know how he didn't get 100 against Man United in a 7-0 win. But that's just like a sea of green, isn't it? 6 goals, but 29 assists from all them corners and free kicks. He's on corners again now. I was watching him today at Bournemouth. It took about 15 corners, but all crap. And poor display today against Bournemouth from Liverpool, but not from Arnold. He had quite a decent game, 68.6, and for a 1-0 defeat. He's not too bad, but he's my favourite player. And you also see here, last man tackles 5 because he's pretty quick, but he does put himself in bad positions, which then makes him have to be the last man tackling. Caught out quite a lot of times, but I do love this guy. I think he could still get better than what he is at the moment. But he just needs to control this defensive side of his game or move to midfield like they're expecting him to do. But that's my number 1, Trent Alexander-Arnold then. Now, I just want to go into my list then, so you see my list here again. Let's look at the floor prices. And we'll go with the highest price there is Arnold, then James, Johnston should go out, and so on and so on. I think it's a decent list for under 23s. In Europe, of course, like I say. So, show me yours below. Put your top 10 in there. It can be in order if you want, or just 10 that you like. You can even say why you like them. But if you enjoyed that video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe as well. Let's try and build the channel, like I say. Get your comments down below with your best players, just so we can see who's watching the videos, what their thoughts are. I'm always available, DMs on Twitter, so get hold of me. And I hope you liked it, and we look forward to seeing the next one, which is probably going to be the top 10 centre-backs in Europe at under 23. Thanks.